Hey friends, welcome back to your Independence Station. Today is Monday, so we are going to be starting with our sight words for this week. So remember, our sight words are ones where once you see them, you're going to want to know them right away. So if you're struggling with any of these sight words, really great strategy is to go back and rewatch the video or to practice them at home. Okay, so I'm going to put the first sight word on here. I'm wondering if anybody knows this word. If you know this word, go ahead and say it out loud. Oh, I heard some friends say it. Before. Before. So the word is before. A sentence might be, I need to brush my teeth before I leave the house in the morning. Before. Okay, here's the next one. Another tricky thing with sight words is that you usually can't sound them out. Sometimes you can, but if you try to sound out all of them, then they're not really a sight word, because a sight word you want to be able to get like that. Okay? Does anybody know this word? Good. Both. Both. So the word is both, and a sentence might be, ooh, I want both of those cupcakes. I want both of those cupcakes. And the word is both. Here's our third one. Does anybody know this word? This one's a little bit tricky-wicky. I hear a couple friends saying it. This word is buy. Now be careful. When you see B-U-Y, that means that you're like buying something at the store. B-Y is like I walked by someone, but B-U-Y is like I am buying something at the store. So the word is buy, and a sentence might be, I want to buy a new pair of shoes because mine have a hole in them. Buy. Okay? And I have one more word for you. I'm going to stick this one right over here. Does anybody know that word? Good. Does. Does. So the word is does, and a sentence might be, that does look really good on you. Does. So we have before, both, by, and does. And then we'll do it backwards. Does, by, both, before. Now let's do them out of order. Ready? By, before, does, both. Good job, friends. Those are our sight words for this week. So we are going to hop back into our story. Remember, we are reading The Chocolate Touch, which is a fantasy story. So when the genre is fantasy, that means that at least one thing has to happen in it that could never happen in real life. And I did ask you before, in one of our book surveys at the end, I asked, who knew why this is a fantasy story? And a lot of people got it right on the nose. And they said it's because everything John ate turned into chocolate. So there's some magic in here, because that would never happen in real life. If I put my finger in my mouth, hopefully it wouldn't turn into chocolate. But if I was a character in this story, it just might if I had a similar problem to John. So we're actually on chapter 7. We've now read 73 and a half pages together. Oh. So check this out. We've read all of this side, and we have this much left to go. Pretty nifty, huh? So, here's the dealio Pagilio. The last thing that happened is John was getting so thirsty. He really wanted water, so we went to all of these different water fountains, but none of them, I'm telling you, none of them would just be water. They kept turning into chocolate. So then Miss Plimsoll called them back in after recess, because remember, he tried to make up with Susan, and she was like, get away from me, I'm still mad at you. And then John was like, but wait, Susan, wait, please. Like, I just want to be friends. Let me prove it to you that everything I put in my mouth turns to chocolate. There's something wrong. And Miss Plimsoll called them in right then. So now they're on their way to lunch, and John's about to pick up his tray. John unhappily took a tray from the pile and slid it along the rails in front of the top of the counter. He put a paper napkin on a glass and a gleaming spoon, a knife and a fork on the tray. It seemed hardly worthwhile, but he felt that he might as well try the food and drink. Perhaps if I eat a different way, without letting anything touch my lips, he muttered, My lunch won't change to chocolate. He was not very hopeful. So I'm going to read that part again because he's trying to think of some solutions here. And on our last book survey, we were trying to think of ways that John could solve this problem also. Perhaps if I eat in a different way without letting anything touch my lips, he muttered, my lunch won't change to chocolate. He was not very hopeful. So did John think that this was going to work? No, he definitely did not. What? Asked the boy standing next to him. Nothing, John said. I thought I heard you say something about chocolate, the boy said. I hope this is the day for chocolate cream pie, he added. That'd be super. On chocolate cream pie days of the past, John had been known to skip the main course so that he might spend all his lunch money on dessert. The thought of 4 pieces of chocolate cream pie now suddenly made his stomach feel as though he were on a roller coaster, an uneasy, flibberty-gibberty sensation. John shuddered. Ugh, ookie, he commented, wrinkling up his nose. The other boy shrugged his shoulders and started to choose his meal. So that wording that the author used is really interesting. He wrote, on chocolate cream pie days of the past. So first, he started off explaining what John would have done in the past. So he would have skipped his main course, ran right over, spent all his money on dessert, and bought 4 slices of pie. But now he said he's got like this flibberty-gibberty or like flip-flop feeling in his tummy, like he's been on a roller coaster because he doesn't want to eat any more chocolate. John took a plate of cold chicken and ham, potato chips, and crisp, moist lettuce and tomato salad. The white of the chicken, the pink of the ham, the gold of the potatoes, the pale green of the lettuce, and the red of the tomato looked delicious. He also took half a pint of milk, a thick crusted whole wheat roll, and a cool pat of butter, a tumbler of water with ice cubes clinking in the glass, and a dish of fresh fruit, slices of orange and grapefruit and banana and grapes. Seems like John is making a lot healthier choices now because he described to us that in the past he would just not eat a lunch, which is super unhealthy, and then he would eat 4 pieces of pie. But now it looks like he's getting a lot of food, but it's pretty balanced. Like he's got some pieces of fruit, he's got some vegetables, some grains, it looks like, and some protein. Looks like he's getting everything his body needs now. Do you guys remember when he went to the doctor and the doctor gave him that tonic, and it was like the doctor had told him that since he wasn't eating fruits and vegetables, he wasn't getting all the nutrients or like the good things in his body that he needed, so he needed a spoonful of the tonic to get him, like medicine. I wonder if after all of this he'll still have to take that, or maybe he'll learn some healthy eating habits. John's tray was loaded with just the sort of meal his mother was always trying to persuade him to eat. Until today, John had always thought it was pretty dull to eat sensible things when there were sweeter food and drink to be had. Today, however, the sensible things looked most appetizing. His mouth began to water in its new sticky way. Oof. So remember, he's been eating so much chocolate, and anytime he tries to drink something, it turns to chocolate, so his mouth is just getting dry and sticky from all that sweetness. John paid for the lunch with the money his mother had given him, went to an empty table, and sat down. His fingers trembling slightly with eagerness, he cut a slice of the lettuce. His fork went through the leaves with a promising crunch. And I'm going to stop there for today. I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger. Check out this picture that the illustrator included here for us. So Margot Apple is our illustrator. She included this picture of John. What do you think he's feeling? Take a look at his face. How does that picture help us understand more about the story? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you go to your book survey right now. You're going to have 2 questions. The first one is I'm going to have you choose one of these words and write a sentence with it. Now be careful. We're still having a couple of friends who are just writing the word. Your goal is to make a sentence. So the word is before, but your sentence might be, I went to bed before my mom. Or buy is just the word, but a sentence might be, I had to buy new clothing. because mine didn't fit anymore. So bye. So remember, you want a whole sentence. Try to use at least one. We did have a couple of rock stars who actually used more than one of their sight words in a sentence. So the first one is write a sentence with it, with one of the words. And the second one is, I want you to write a sentence explaining how this picture helps you understand what's happening in the story. So how does this picture help you understand what's happening in the story? Okay, so either click in the description below or head over to my schedule. See you soon.